So we have 60,000 thoughts a day. 50,000 of them we could label as negative. So that's 80% negative thoughts. And even more concerning, 95% of those thoughts are recycled thoughts from yesterday. So now that we understand a little bit more about how we think by default, where our brain typically goes, let's think a little bit or go into a little bit more detail about our emotions, because the joining of our thoughts and our emotions is what creates our level of energy. And that level of energy matched with your intention is what creates your personal reality. It's what creates your future. And if we want to create a future that's favorable to us and a future that we're excited about living, that's aligned with our vision and our purpose for being here, we're going to have to be thinking more about our thinking and tuning in more to how we feel. So if we think of the brain as the center of all of our thoughts, I want you to start thinking of your body as the center of all of your emotions. And the reason why your body is the center of your emotions is because your heart and the heart energy that you have is the seat of your emotions. And that's directly connected to your limbic system, which is fully in charge of your autonomic nervous system, which basically does everything in your body. It digests your food. It's responsible for your heartbeat, your circulation, and keeping that all running smoothly and in order. And so when your heart is in a good place, then it talks to your brain in a very powerful way. Your brain talks to your heart as well, but your heart actually sends more signals to your brain than your brain sends to your heart. So when you harness the energy that comes from positive emotion and something called heart coherence, then you're not only in a much better emotional place, but you're in a much better thinking place, because your thoughts and your emotions play off of each other. Your body and your brain talk to each other. As I said before, 95% of our thoughts are recycled from yesterday. And so what happens is our bodies literally start to become those emotions. We have memorized a certain biochemical makeup, and we respond to things typically like we respond to things in the past. For example, let's say at work you have this really irritating boss. You're not a fan of this person, not somebody that you like to work for or with. And so every morning when you wake up and you get your day started and you think about what you have to get done at work, you get this image of your boss grating on your nerves, saying something silly that gets under your skin, any myriad of things that your boss could do to just get on your nerves. Well, as soon as you remember that, your body literally starts to have the same chemical reactions. So your brain releases chemicals into your body, and your body has literally memorized the state of what it's like to interact with your boss. This is just how we're wired. There's nothing wrong with this at all. But what we want to learn to do is, instead of allowing our emotional responses to affect our neurochemistry in a way that's not favorable to us, we want to learn to shift that around. And we want to become more intentional about the emotions that we feel and how we're doing in our body and how our emotions are talking to our thoughts, so that we can create the future that we want for ourselves. If you want to keep creating what you're creating now, then just keep doing what you're doing now, because it's working and your body's memorized it and you're in your comfort zone and you're great. But if there's something that you want to change, you've got to get really intentional about the energy that you're feeling, which is the combination of your thoughts and your emotions and how those two things talk to one another. So we want to go from thinking by default, which is what I told you, wake up every morning and have that thought about your boss and have the same chemical response in your body, to harnessing in that and thinking more about how we want to feel and what we want to experience, and at least getting ourselves to more of a neutral place so that we don't go into our day with all of that negative energy that we've created from those responses in our body from the emotions that we've had. I'm going to talk to you next about a really simple trick that you can use to get your heart energy in a good place and thus get your mind in a good place.